Hello and welcome to the Chamonix World Cup, and what a place for a sporting event. You can see massive walls down at the front of the Place de Mont Blanc, the lead wall on the right and the speed wall on the left, and the speed is what we are going to be looking at here today. You can see the world records on the top of your screen. 4.79 for Samuel Watson, 6.24 for Alexander Miroslav. No world records were beaten during the qualifying run. But we're hoping for the best here, and you can see the crowd pouring into the stadium. The athletes have only just finished competing for the qualifying places for tonight. And now we can see the starting list of the athletes who have made it through this far. And sadly, a gentleman next to me who hasn't made it through is Lucas Knapp. Lucas, first of all, welcome to the commentary box. Tell me about qualifying here today. How was it?
Thank you, Matt. It was really nice. I always enjoy climbing here in Chamonix because already in practice the crowd was packed. So it's such a nice experience. As you said, I just didn't make it through, but I was really close, like 700s off. So actually I'm satisfied because it's like a World Cup PB for me. And there's just this little bit more that I need to bring next time to go through.
Absolutely. Well, we know you've got the pedigree to do that, so fingers crossed for the future. Now, we're looking at the starting list of names here, and in the background, you can see the mountains that are still lit up in the evening sunshine. Now, Lucas, tell me about the wall, because you've literally just come off and tried it. Is it a slippy wall? Is it running fast?
I think you can run fast. The holes are really nice because they seem to be a new set, so they haven't been used too much, in my opinion. The texture is a little bit slippier than a very grippy wall, but I think it's still very good. So it's definitely one of the better walls, if you want to say so.
Yes, and so potentially we have world records here, although, as we know, the qualifying is about time, the finals is a straight race, but you never know out there. We've got Sam Watson on the card.
That's it. We have a lot of future Olympians right here, because if you look to the lead, there were some people that said, okay, I don't want to do the last comps, but for speed we have almost everybody who qualify for the Olympics, we have them right here.
Tell me about the Olympics, because we've just come off the back of the OQS, the Olympic Qualifier Series, which was a pretty intense thing to be part of, eh?
Oh yeah, I unfortunately wasn't part, but I've heard a lot from the athletes that were participating. I mean, it was a really tense situation because it's so much on the line for them, and they're always thinking like, there are just so few spots and they want to show their best, and it goes so fast in speed. So sometimes it's just heartbreaking to see athletes come off the OQS who are missing the Olympics just by this tiny margin.
I can't even imagine. If you haven't seen the OQS, it was an immensely stressful but incredible piece of sporting history. So you can go back and check this. And you mentioned the crowd. I don't think I've ever seen a crowd this big for speed. I mean, it's absolutely massive out there.
I don't think it can get any better than this, because in Chamonix you always have such a big crowd, and you also have kind of an educated crowd, because the people, they're coming, not just coming by, but they're sitting here, they're staying here. It's not like passerbys or something, but they're really coming for the event and really enjoying it. And if you're standing on the stage, especially as we are facing the crowd, it's just a really nice feeling before you go into your run.
And what's it like backstage? Because obviously you can't see the crowd back there, but you can hear them, presumably. How do you keep the nerves at bay when you're waiting to go out and climb?
Every athlete kind of tackles it a little bit different, but I always see it as a push. Because this crowd, although we're in French, obviously they are maybe rooting even more for the French athletes, but they're rooting for everybody. So it's like, not that they're one-sided. So you can always say, okay, they're rooting for me. And if they see that the athletes are happy that they achieve something like a PB, they really go wild. So it's really cool.
Okay, well, we are moments away here. That is the crowd we were talking about there. Standing room only out there on the Place de Mont Blanc. So seconds away now, the crowd start to cheer. We are almost ready to begin. So here we are in Chamonix for a Speed and Lead World Cup. It's the time of the speed athletes to perform on the wall on the left. And we cannot wait for everyone to get going. Our first athletes are out before we can even think about it, really. Remember, world record 6.24 for the women. And Natalia Kaluchka on the left, Isis Rothfork on the right. And Lucas, Isis is fascinating because she's the only one of the women so far doing what's called the Chinese top, which is a different way of doing the top beater. So it's interesting to watch her.
Yes, mainly the Chinese are doing it, but of the non-Chinese athletes, she's the only one. But I think it's a very interesting version, and some more females might switch to that version in the future, in my opinion.
I think so. I think it is the future. So we could be watching some history here. She's on the right, Natalia Kaluchka on the left. Incredibly experienced, of course. Just missed out on Olympic place during the OQS. That's the timer pad. 1 foot on that, 1 foot on the wall, and we'll wait for the buzzers. And it's clean start from both of them. Isis is slightly ahead at the moment, but Natalia Kaluchka, she's good at the top. Can she pull something back? Here she is, because Isis slipped. So
And Natalia pulls through. She had a really hard time, as you mentioned, with the OQS, because it was not her against the other athletes, it was her against her sister. One would take the ticket because there was only 1 spot left for Team Poland. So that was kind of a heartbreaker, but now she's back.
Yeah, it really was, and I can't imagine a mentality to do that. Let's have a look again. She was actually behind for quite a lot of that race, but seemed to find something in the final sector.
Yeah. And yeah, you see a small slip on the Chinese baiter. She just missed the small foothold. That's one thing. The smaller the holds, the more precise you have to hit them. So it's a little bit more risk there. But if you know what you're doing, it shouldn't be. So it just happens.
Exactly. Well, first race done. We move on. Giulia Randi from Italy is on the left of your screen. Franziska Ritter from Germany on the right. And although we have got a lot of Olympians here, not everyone who will compete in a couple of weeks is here. Some are taking a rest, some will be in Briançon. So it's a strange time, really, isn't it?
It is, it is.
So Giulia Randi gets clipped in. There's an auto belay. The belay comes up automatically, so no one is on rope duty on this one. Franziska Ritter turns. PB 7.12 versus a 7.04.
It should be a close one.
So here we go. That's the foot on that starting hole. We wait for the buzzers. But an explosive start from Franziska Ritter, but absolutely neck and neck as we hit the middle section. Now Giulia Randi is starting to pull ahead, and yeah, she stopped at 7.004. That's a new PB, I think.
It is, it is. She will be happy, but she will also be a little bit resentful maybe because it's so close to the 6-second mark, right? Like 7.004.
Yeah, exactly.
But she won, so she got another shot at it.
And the times are crazy. I mean, the qualifying time just to get into this final alone is so tight right now.
Yes. We have seen it for the male because I was placed 23 or 24, and there were 3 people in front of me who had exactly the same time. Then there were 2 more who had the same. It was like 36, 36, 40, 40, 40. And then I'm with my teammate. He was like 43, 44. So it's really dense.
Oh, absolutely heartbreaking. Okay, next athlete out, Jimin Jong on the left from South Korea, and then Karen Hayashi on the right from Team Japan. And it's interesting with both these nations because you wouldn't think of them in the past as speed climbing nations, but they're really strong now.
Yes, especially Team Japan. I think they, for a long time, just didn't put their focus there, right? Because they were like boulder and lead nation, and once they started developing speed, they really got momentum quite fast. And same with Korea.
Yeah, they are ones to watch for the future, these two. Inner finals here in Chamonix. Eyes closed on the right, trying to stay composed. Jimin Jong on the left-hand side of your screen. So both athletes turn, face the wall.
Ready?
Well, it's clean again, no full starts. At the moment, Jimin Jong is slightly ahead, but look at this on the right. Karen is starting to pull her back with Jimin Jong body length ahead now. She takes victory. A good race from her. Yeah, team.
And it looked very consistent, no mistakes. Took the speed all the way through, because this is what we sometimes see athletes struggling, also myself. If you have some speed and then there's an abrupt stop, then you have to catch it again. So it's important to carry the speed all the way through to the top.
Yeah, momentum is so important, isn't it? Because, you know, you hesitate for a second. We talk about the athletes not thinking. They're not, you know, considering each move that they do. It's all instinct at this point.
Yes. And we talked about this when I was on the live stream last time with Jiang. Like, it's like sometimes thinking is just not good, because then you start, okay, now I'm good, now I'm good, now I'm good. Oh, now I messed it up.
Yeah.
Or the other way. I mean, it really depends on the athlete. Some can say like, okay, let's go faster, 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 and they can go through it. But some athletes, when they start thinking, they mess it up.
Exactly, and this is a lady who can sometimes think too much. Patricia Colli on the left-hand side, Sofia Cusio on the right for the USA. Patricia will be an Olympian in a few weeks, and she's really come on, hasn't she?
Yes, yes. And for her, it really was, you could see the emotions when she knew she made it, because I think she always had this goal. And it was always in the back of mind, it's a possibility, but it's not for sure. Because, yeah, it's tough, it's really tough.
It really is. Well, we go again. It's fast-paced here in speed. Halfway through this first round for the women.
Ready?
Good start from Patricia Colli there. Look at her powering away on the left, but keep an eye on Sofia on the right. She's still in touch. It's going to be Patricia, though. Yeah, 7.119. She's happy with that.
She's happy. It's kind of close to her PB with 6.91. So let's see what comes. And also the reaction time, there's a little bit more room for her to improve.
Yeah, you've got to come close to that buzzer but not go over it. Look at this crowd. It's incredible. There was a slight pause between lead where they went away, but boy, have they come back in force. Now, this is a run from the top. Patricia, so powerful with her movements.
And you could see that she's keeping the speed all the way to the top. Never going any slower, just a constant speed, and oftentimes this is just enough.
Yeah, exactly. So she keeps it together for this run. We go on. And explain to me about the right and left lanes, because that's to do with the qualifying position, where they are.
Yes, the faster climb from the qualifiers is always on the left. The slower climb from the qualifiers goes on the right. So, and then it advances through the next rounds of the final.
Okay, so
but the lanes are the same. So there is no difference except from the only thing where you could argue is the starting position, because the person on the right might see the person on the left. The person on the left generally doesn't see the person on the right.
Okay.
But that shouldn't be too big of an influence.
Yeah, and so far we've seen the left lane winning at the moment. Right, Agnes on the right, Shengyan on the left of your screen. That's the starting position. Taped up fingers just to make sure. And here we go. Again, a quick start on the left lane. This is Shengen Wang, who's making huge progress here. She's easily going to wing it as she does go through. Agnes knocked out. Team Japan, always ones to watch, and they have made it smoothly through that round.
China.
Sorry, China. Oh, look at this. My brain's
Team
melted.
Japan is also to watch, though.
Yes, exactly. They're all
China,
good.
obviously. Like.
All right, well, this
We
crowd...
have just seen those nations that are just dominating speed recently. We always have a few athletes, but if we're talking about volume, there are just a few nations like Indonesia, China, who are kind of dominating if we're talking about quantity.
Yes, they've got
Quality,
so many
of
athletes,
course,
haven't
but
they?
quantity as well. That's the hard thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of athletes to keep track of. They're a powerhouse of a team. Okay, next up, Capucine Viglioni will get a big reaction from this French crowd, as you'd expect, which is against Manon Lebon. So Capucine technically qualifying slower here because she's on the right lane, but she's definitely one to watch. She could take this.
Yes. She's also one of the future Olympians, so I think for her it's just a bonus here in front of home crowd, but obviously also Manon.
Exactly. Well, the two women stand. They take a moment to take in this crowd. Capucine breathing deeply as she turns towards the wall. This could be a tight one, everyone. Hold your breath as we wait for the starting buzzers. Well, they're off to start, and Capucine was explosive off the bottom, but now Manon is starting to reel her in. It could be anyone's at the top. I think it's going to take Capucine slipped there for a sec.
And that was so close.
So Capucine had a bit of a slip near the top of that.
Yes, but he was fast enough to compromise the slip. And if we looked at the PB, I mean, the crowd is just going crazy because it's such a nice thing to see a clean race that's so close. But also Manon, she was 200s off her PB with 7:03. So
well, we knew it was going to be a good race.
She has nothing to say against her performance.
No, and that's a good point, I think, because sometimes an athlete can be disappointed, but when you come that close, it's just one of those things, isn't it?
It was the same for me today, because of course I'm disappointed that I'm not going through to the next round, especially if you're close, but also I'm very close to my PB, like to my comp PB, I'm 300s off. So it's like, how can you be really disappointed about that? You always have to see the two sides of the medal. I mean, in speed, it's quite easy because you can always say what's the placement and what's the time. And the time is just like a number, so you can always compare it easily, right?
Yes, exactly. I guess some of it's feeling as well. You know in yourself if you've come close or you've slightly let yourself down. Okay, well, next race, Ren Kayomatsu on the right-hand side. and Xiaoqun Zhang on the left, another member of Team China, who's definitely worth watching these teams. So 2 races to go for the women before we move on to the men's round. And the crowd, so respectful of the athletes, they immediately drop into silence. Big difference in PBs, though, almost a second between them. So we expect Xiaoqun Zhang to be fast here, and she is, but a bit of a hesitation in the middle section. Now she picks it up. Starting buzzer, 6.802, another PB.
And she's so close to her PB, like 679, 680. It's really nice if you can see that a lot of athletes are really going close to their PB, having good, valid runs without any mistakes. I think also for people watching, it's so much nicer to see, like, obviously it can also be very interesting if both making mistakes, as long as it's staying close, because then it's always more frightening. It's like, come on, guys.
Yeah, this is one of the tensest parts of climbing. And if you're just joining us wondering where the boulder and lead is, well, that's tomorrow night. This is speed, and it is going to be the fastest discipline in the Olympics, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that's really cool. So it's going to be really interesting what the new Olympic record will be, because for the female, Ola Miroslav has it. For the male, I think Basa Mauem, if I'm not mistaken. But that was 2 years ago? 3 years ago, actually. So there has been a lot of momentum since then.
Yes, and the events were combined back then, so the speed athletes now get to show off all on their own, which is fantastic. Right, another Olympian future, Leslie on the left, Mi Yang on the right. Leslie, yeah, another young athlete, really come into her own. Incredible that she managed to qualify. Here we go. Well, it was a better start for Mi Yang, but now Leslie starts to reel her in. And another slip for Mi Yang. It's going to be Leslie all the way. Yes, the Spanish athlete moves forward.
And she's one of those athletes that's very consistent.
Yeah, and talk to me about consistency. Is that something you guys train for, rather than just pure speed? Do you want to be regularly quick?
We aim for it. Let's put it like this. I mean, you try to train for it. Obviously, there are some athletes. It really depends what you want to argue for. Is it better to be consistent and fast, or to have this every now and then this one run that's way better than your other runs? But I'm a big fan of consistency, and I'm also like kind of a consistent guy. Like my last comp in Innsbruck, I was really, really consistent comp. I wasn't the fastest guy in the comp, but I won it because I was so consistent. It's kind of, when I discuss it with my coach, it's kind of like for the qualification, it's more important to have this like one fast run. But once you're in the stage where we are right now, which is elimination finals, it's more important to be consistent, kind of.
Oh, these are the athletes who have made it through to the next round. They now get to go and wait, and it's time for the men to compete. We'll have a brief pause in proceedings now as we swap things around, and we'll see you in a second. So the mountains in the background, Lucas, I mean, as a place to go climbing, this is, I mean, it's got so much history here as well, doesn't it?
Yes. I mean, when I come here, I'm always like, it's actually almost hilarious how picturesque it is. It's just such a beautiful place. And if you walk just from the warm-up to the wall, I'm always enjoying it. Because on a day like this, you see the mountain range in the sunlight. We're really happy that we have the speed today, because as some of our viewers might know, it got postponed from yesterday. But yesterday was like, the weather was really not so nice. So we were all hoping, like, please have it today, because it's so much more enjoyable if you have like the crowd, no clouds, sun, in such a picturesque, beautiful place like Chamonix.
Agreed, yeah, the rain yesterday was cataclysmic, but that is our background now, and a couple of seconds away now before the start of the men's competition. So Matteo Zaloni walks onto the stage. He's up against Damir from Kazakhstan. And Matteo, what a qualifying round from him.
And the qualifying round, he was the first European to go sub-5, so which is European record. And so far we didn't have any. We had but some guys from Asia, and obviously Sam. But now we also have a European finally there.
And it was a big moment. He qualified for the Olympics way back in the World Champs. And he's been taking some time off, getting ready. And now his build-up really almost finished before the games. Here we go. Big twisting start from Matteo, but look at this from Damir, absolutely powering away. Matteo's trying to come back at him, but surely not. He has done it.
Oh my God.
How did he pull that one?
6,000th of a second.
But I thought Matteo was out of the running there. He was so far behind.
That's just this thing with some of the guys. They can make a mistake and still be like so fast.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy.
Well, let's see this, because he had a big slip down low. Let's see if we can see it. There, that was a pause. That's not a slip, a pause.
Yeah. It was literally stand still and start to accelerate again.
He dug so deep to win that one. He didn't want to let it go.
What I'm sometimes wondering is that when you make this mistake, you're like, oh my God, now I have to go really, really fast. And then I would argue you go even faster than you would otherwise for this rest section.
Is that because you just like throwing caution to the wind? Like you might as well just give it
like,
everything.
Why not? Why not? He's in front, so I need to catch up. So, yeah, it's a very interesting feeling.
Unbelievable. What a first race. Right, Ryo Amasa on the right-hand side, Liang Zhang on the left. And Ryo Amasa is another one who, part of Team Japan, we started taking notice of him last year, but wow, has he improved in the last couple of months. So.
And we have a really close PB comparison here, 5:02 to 5:07, so we can assume it's going to be a really, really close race.
Yeah, this could be anyone's. So here we go. The athletes put 2 hands on the starting holds. That left foot drilled into the pad as they wait. Well, it's big from both. Impossible to call at the moment. It's absolutely neck and neck. Maybe Zhang is slightly ahead, but look at that from Ryo at the very end. Came through.
The very last move. You saw this slight hesitation, and Ryo just pulled through. That's what I was talking about earlier. That's just like consistency.
So many comps, it seems, now are one in the air as well.
If Zhang would have just finished his run, but he didn't. So Ryo just continued. I mean, 5:16 is still a really fast time. So, but Zhang was in front basically most of the time. So yeah, it just came down to the last move. There you can see it again.
He was miles away from that. Ryo, and that last Chinese top, incredible from him. Back down to the ground. Well, we've had 2 absolutely stellar races. Youngjun Jung from Korea is on. Jingshuang Wang from China on the left. He is heavily taped up. Look at those calves. So much tape going on there.
I'm wondering if this is an actual issue, just like prevention, because it's so much. And it's basically quite the same on both sides.
Yes, it is.
It looks quite symmetrical.
Symmetrical, I'm about to say. Yes, exactly that. Aesthetically pleasing taping, that. Okay, well, let's hope the tape does his job for him. But Youngjun on the right. We'll try to have something to say about it.
One of the male athletes who is officially under 5, so.
Yeah, so he's got some speed in those legs. Let's see if he can find it tonight in Chamonix in this first round. But you don't want to go too hard too early. You've got to still beat your competitor, though, so it's a bit of a balancing act. Here we go. Well, it's good. Youngjun was so quick off the line, but now Jingshuang Wang is coming back, and look at this big slip, and he finishes things off.
And you heard him pushing the pad.
So how do you mean, instead of hitting the pad, he was pushing it?
No, like, it was really loud, so he was like really having a lot of force on that pad there.
He was making sure of it, wasn't he?
Yeah. Because sometimes it happens, like, officially there's an amount of pressure you have to put on the pad to cause a reaction. As far as I know, it's at least 5 kilograms of pressure. So if you just very slightly touch it, it might not be enough. So sometimes athletes just go a little bit stronger just to be sure.
Yeah, well, that was the thwack at the top. You can see it from our drone shot there.
In the back in the times when it wasn't always a pad, we had sometimes a buzzer, like a red buzzer. And sometimes it was like when people were hitting it too hard, it was just bouncing off the wall because it was not made for that. So finally now we go back to the pads.
Crazy, yeah. The sport has evolved, put it like that.
It has.
Right, Hirihori Iltisyan, who did very well in the comp you won in Innsbruck. He's up against Amir on the left-hand side from Kazakhstan. And Hirihori has this way of just, he has these eyes that are like ice cold, and he's laser focused out there. He's quite a scary competitor, to be honest, to be up against. I wouldn't want to race him.
It's good that they don't face each other.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I'd be quaking in my boots. Right, but Amir, very fast. Kazakhstan, again, another quick nation. Let's see what these two can do now.
Ready?
Amir is behind at the moment. Hesitation. Now, no, Hirihori then slips. It's going to be Amir. If he can keep it together, he can. Oh, that's a shame. Amir taking victory, a slip from Hirihori.
And Amir didn't go like super fast compared to his PB. He was just like pulling it through, which in the elimination quite oftentimes is enough. Because there are those interesting statistics about how many people make mistakes in the elimination stages, and it's quite a big percentage. I don't remember the numbers exactly, but there are a few scientific papers about it coming from China, where they analyzed how many mistakes happen, where do they happen, and it's quite a lot.
And why do you think that is? I know you haven't necessarily delved into the research. What's your opinion on it?
I think it's just the pressure.
Okay.
That, especially in front of a big crowd, I mean, everybody deals different with it. But yeah, I talked with one of the German guys before. It's so interesting to watch the last 10 minutes before everything starts. Because some athletes, they like really throw the nerves away, and also like, yeah, now I'm finally allowed to go on the wall. It's like just different approaches.
Unreal. Right, here we go again. Gianluca Zada on the right-hand side, a muscly man full of power, and Jingguo Long on the left. Jingguo Long as well, such class from that athlete. 4.97 PB, that's a 5.3.
One of the other Asian guys under 5, so it's crazy how far we've evolved.
Exactly. Well, on paper, it should belong to the left lane, but forget paper, this is speed climbing. Right, so the pad is compressed. Big swinging start, and it is very close at the moment. Is it going to be Gianluca? Gianluca does take it. Well, there we go. Forget paper.
And he had a perfect start, basically, because the reaction time was 0.111, so really close to what you would consider false start. Just perfect.
Unreal run from him. He gets it done against the odds.
And he's happy.
Now, I find when an athlete sort of does that, often that gives them a bit of a kick start, because they're thinking, you know, look, I've beaten someone I shouldn't maybe beat. Now I might as well just go for it. And
yes.
Often we see it being quicker.
I mean, obviously, we cannot look into the heads of the athletes. I'm not sure if he's thinking, like, I cannot beat him, because it's maybe a little bit the wrong mindset, if you want to say so. But some athletes obviously think, well, what do I got to lose?
Yes.
If you're coming place 16, 15, 14, and maybe you deserve, I want to say deserve to be there, because some people on 14, 15, 16 maybe just didn't have a super nice run. They wanted to be more in the front. But some athletes, they're like, what do I have to lose? I can only win because now I'm here. Let's try, let's give it all, and let's just see what happens.
Exactly. Well, two more are out. Eric Neuer on the right-hand side. He's up against that man, Yaroslav Tkac, who Yaroslav, another future Olympian.
Yes.
And again, I remember watching him when he seemed like a much younger man. He really seems to have matured in the last couple of years.
Yes. Now you can see the focus on Eric's face.
Yeah, Eric loves being here in Chamonix. He was coaching other athletes as much as he was competing himself.
And he is the #1 on the back, so I don't want to call it, but let's see.
Let's see indeed. Here we go. Big start from Eric Neuer. He's ahead at the moment. Yaroslav will have to try to reel him in. Can he do it? He's too far behind. Eric does take it.
And that is a PB, 5:08.
Well, that means a lot to him.
The crowd goes wild.
Yeah, Eric didn't make it into the Olympics.
Yes.
He was devastated by that one. Devastated, but obviously he wanted to.
Yes.
But that's a good comeback from him.
I'm really happy for him now because, I mean, he's so close also to the 4-second mark. Maybe we can see another European today go for something. That would be amazing.
Well, look
and
at this.
I don't want to say that others don't deserve it, but I think he really would deserve it.
Yeah, he's got so much history behind
yes.
him, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, and Yaroslav, a little wry smile on his face as he comes down.
So Yaroslav is also so cool because he does so many comps. Like, he basically does every comp he can do, which is such a cool mindset and attitude, in my opinion. Also, all the European Cups.
Yep. Well, he won it last year. He was the European champion.
Yes.
So brilliant from him. Right, now this man, a lot of people are talking about Sam Watson. He suddenly has become probably the favourite, weirdly, for the Olympics, and it's all about world records.
Yes. And he's been so consistent with his sub-5 times. It's going to be really interesting to see what he does here. I'm not sure if he's aiming for another world record, but obviously he's the current holder, so.
Yeah, he did make a slip in the quali. He had to find something in this second run. Sam turns. Shooter on the right, though, is going to try to beat Sam with everything he has. Here we go. The athletes are ready. A lot of pressure on Sam Watson here. Well, no full start's good to see. Sam Watson slightly ahead at the moment. Can he keep it together towards the top? Yes, he can on a 4.885.
Really, really close. But also Shuto had a new PB, so he gave it all he had.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that's we can see also Schutter is happy, so that's really something nice. If you run a PB and it's still not enough to go further, to go to the next stage, then you at least can be satisfied because you gave it all you had, in my opinion. And I think for him, it's that case.
Yes, I think you're right. I mean, you know, it was a pressurised race. To put that PB is brilliant. Sam Watson, though, floating up towards the top, very close to his own world record there.
We just are 10/100ths off.
Well, Sam Watson, job done, one round.
He doesn't look unhappy, but he doesn't look done yet, so.
Sam has got more to give here. Okay, up next, Pierre Rebillon from France. Big reaction expected from him. He's got, and then on the left, Ludovico Fassali, who's a very popular member of Team Italy. Of course, Italy just 12 or so kilometers away through the tunnel, so pretty close.
And also Ludo had a really good qualification, coming, I think, at 5.14, really close to 4 seconds as well. So, yeah, let's see. It's going to be a really interesting race.
It's going to be a tight one.
PB 5.14, Pierre with 5.18. Oh, so
nothing between them.
I don't want to call it.
No, sadly, we have to somehow. It's going to be a tight one, this. So Pierre turns away from his crowd. Look at the French flag.
I hope it's going to be a tight one.
Yes,
no mistakes, clean runs.
No full starts,
and
please.
The better guy wins.
Exactly. So here we go. Both are ready. The crowd's super silent now. Well, no full starts are good, but they're absolutely neck and neck. Ludo now pulling ahead as we in at the top. Watch Pierre, though, and it is going to be Pierre who takes it.
He goes through.
Talk to me about what happened there.
It just seemed like Ludo was slowing down a little bit at the top. There was nothing notable to see because he didn't make any notable mistake. And Pierre was just like, he knew he was behind. That's what kind of we said. He knew he had to catch up because why not?
Yeah, let's
look at it again.
Because Ludo was a long way ahead. Yeah. Let's see if there was a moment from Ludo.
Up here and then you don't see any like slips or anything with Ludo.
No, he just maybe just seemed to just run out of
and we see a happy Pierre.
Yes, Pierre. I love the French flag. He's got shaved into his head as well. That's brilliant to see. Right, well, that's the end of round one for the men. So we will get confirmation of those results in a minute for the next round. And we will now swap back to the women for the second round for them as we near the small final and final positions. So the mountains now starting to hit the Chamonix sunset, which is so famous. The photographers are loving this moment, trust me. There's lots of cameras clicking out there. And you can watch all of the photos that are produced on the IFSC Instagram, of course, and that is the confirmation of the women. We'll see them in a couple of minutes. Just a bit of a reminder, if you want more action apart from these broadcasts, there's the World Climbing Club for free on YouTube, behind-the-scenes action, interviews, and more every single day of the competition. But we are seconds away here before the women walk out onto the stage. The crowd has got even bigger somehow, and we are...
I don't know if there fit many more people on that place.
No, exactly. Well, look at that. Just waving to us. We're almost ready to go. Well, if you're just joining us, welcome to Speed Climbing. Second round for the women. They enter the stage. Natalia Kaluchka versus Julia Randi here. And Team Poland, another one of those powerhouses. Really, I mean, 3 main athletes there, but the world champion there as well.
For the females, Team Poland is really dominant. We see the sister of Natalia is skipping this competition. Also, Ola Miroslav, world record holder, is skipping this competition. I think they're just preparing for Paris, obviously. But Natalia is one of the fastest girls in the world. So, yeah, 6.45 PB, that is close to the world record. So.
Yeah, and you're right. She's so used to fighting against her sister. They often come together in these competitions. And not this time. So, Julia Randi on the right, Natalia Kaluchka on the left.
Ready?
Poland versus Italy for the first of the second round of the women's races. And it's a good start from both of them. Julia Randi slightly ahead at the moment. Watch Natalia Kaluchka going through the top, but she's fast at the top. And she does stop it. Wow, where did she find that?
Yes, and she's happy. I always like it if athletes are enjoying every victory. Because with some athletes you see they're enjoying every round they win. And others are like straight-faced and like, okay, now I'm through, but it's not the end. I'm also one of those guys. Every race that I win, I'm like happy because you shouldn't take it for granted.
No, you shouldn't. And you know, winning a race against anyone out there at the moment is an achievement. I mean, you guys, all of you, are within fractions of a second. It's it's incredible to beat anyone on this circuit right now.
Yeah, it comes down really, really to hundreds, often, sometimes even thousands of a second. So, especially if anybody watched the OQS, you were seeing so many races that were so close. I mean, I think the first male final from Budapest was 100 separation. The next one was 1,000 separation. So it's like we have such a high density for the male, but also more and more density for the female athletes. That's really cool to see development here.
Yes, agreed. All right, so on the right, Beatrice Colli. On the left, Xinguan Wang. Beatrice staying focused, staying calm. Left arm of hers, that line represents her journey through the sport, the ups and the downs. And boy, is she on an up right now. Here we go. Well, the PBs are close. It's going to be a tight race here. Jimin Zhong slightly ahead. Can Beatrice find something in the top? Keep an eye on that timing pad. No, Beatrice slips before the end.
Yeah. But also Jimin Zhong was flawless, no mistakes, fast time. So Bea really know she had to put in something more there in the final push, and it was just like, yeah, she tried all she had.
Yeah, she did indeed. Fell at the top. She was behind, though, before that slip. Let's see it again. Jimin Zhong, as you said, really powerful. There she had a bit of a moment on the left.
Yeah.
Managed
and
to
recover.
Bea's
crying it, but then foot slip.
Yeah, and a nasty fall there, almost hitting her chin on the wall. Yeah, speed climbing is a pretty brutal sport. Okay, next two athletes are out. Xinguan Wang on the left of your screen. Capucine Viglioni on the right from France.
And there will be some home crowd support now, I guess.
Well, we could see the round before. I think the crowd drove her up even faster. And yes, well, there
and she can hear it. She can hear it.
She can. Well, what a moment for her. We have Briançon coming up, of course. That will be a big reaction as well. But there's something special about Chamonix.
Ready?
Fast start from both women. Capucine ahead at the moment. Both women pause them. Now Capucine's behind. Xinguan Wang will take this if she can hold it together, and she does. Disappointment from Capucine there.
She tried, but it was small slips all the way through. She continued on an upward trajectory, but it was just like, just not enough.
Just not enough indeed. She leaves us. And let's see this again. Both of them had moments down low. You can see little pauses, Capucine especially, but Capucine managed to get something back at the top. She had another slip there. Look how far behind she was. And then,
And it's always so tough once you stop or slip, you're in an awkward position most of the time. Because when you go fast, you don't come into this position. So it's always like you have to kind of reorientate and to try to go through from there. Especially when you stop, it's really kind of, well, where am I now?
Yeah, exactly. Like, where am I on the wall? What's my orientation? Which foot have I got to put down next?
Which direction do I need to go? Oh, upwards.
Yes, and all under 10 seconds. Madness. Okay, next round, final round for this. Leslie Perez on the right of your screen. Chamonix Zhang on the left. So, Team Spain, they train together in Barcelona. Part of a big Spanish team, of course. Alberto Hines Lopez, the star of the boulder and lead. He'll be in action tomorrow. Both women in the starting position. Zhang closes her eyes as she looks up. And here we go. It's tight at the bottom. A little pause on the left here, a little pause on the right. Who's going to take this? It could be anyone to the air. Leslie loses out.
And the Chinese athlete goes through with a new PB and really improves it, like almost 20 hundredths faster than her official PB.
Yeah, Chamonix Zhang there. Fantastic from her as she comes down. A real challenge. Leslie with a big smile on her face, though.
Yeah.
Well, let's see this moment. It was fast off the line for both. They both had to fight for it. Chamonix Zhang really managed to keep it together in her zone. And look at that at the top, a body length win.
But also Leslie, if I'm not mistaken, she also made a PB right now. So that's obviously why she's happy, because that's what we discussed earlier. Losing with a PB, I mean, Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It
Losing
could
with a
be
PB
worse.
is like, you know what, you've done the best you possibly can.
Yes.
It's just one of those days.
And yeah, there we can see confirmed 6.86 for Leslie is a PB, because I think the stats say for before 6.98, so it's quite an improvement for both athletes though.
Yeah, so PB's tumbling all over the place here. The wall is pretty grippy, I've been told anyway, out there, so it's certainly got potential for fast times here.
Yeah, we don't see a lot of slips right now, no, at least not friction slips. So yeah, the athletes can deal with it, and also the temperature is kind of nice. It's not too hot, not humid.
Yeah, it's fresh. I mean, all day it's been quite fresh, actually, which has been a bit of a relief, because the day before the rain, it was baking hot.
It was. And today it was like really nice, because it's just like, I always like it in the evening. If it's cooling down, you can open the window, and in the morning if it's cool. So, but we are quite high up here in Chamonix, I think about 1,000 meters.
Yeah, about 1-2, I think, up here. So yes, altitude can be a bit of a factor, but maybe the thin air makes them faster. Who knows?
Yeah.
Okay, seconds away here as we turn our attention back to the men. And you can see on the right-hand side of this stage, there's lots going on. There's lots of booths with clothing brands, holds, and a climbing wall as well. So if you want to come and try it, you can. Okay, Matteo Zaloni is back in action on the left, Rio Amasa on the right. And I love the fact he's got the Olympic rings already on his arm.
And he has the speed hold in the Olympic rings. I don't know if you've seen it. Watch it closely.
Yeah, it's a great tattoo.
He obviously qualified already last year, so he's one of those who knew it for quite a time, because the other athletes knew it since a couple of weeks. So.
Yeah, he's had a long time to think about that tattoo.
Yeah.
So, like I say, Matteo Zaloni, I wouldn't put anything past this man right now. He is looking like grease lightning. Rio Amasa, though, 5:07. He's close to his opponent's PB. Well, it's a good start from Matteo Zaloni, but look at this from Rio Amasa, pumping those legs. Can Matteo Zaloni? No, he slips, and Rio Amasa takes it with a 5.072.
Equalizing his PB, so... And he's happy, he's happy.
He is happy. Yeah, Matteo Zaloni just had a big slip there.
Yeah, and this time he wasn't able to catch it up, because last time, last race, he was able to still go through and win the race by tight margin, but he was able to do it. This one, it was just too much, because 5:07, also Matteo cannot do with a slip, I would assume.
No, it would be a big ask, wouldn't it? Let's see this slip. There it was, big ping, dropped out of shot of the camera. Rio Amasa, meanwhile, got it done.
Yeah.
You can see disappointment.
And we have those two categories of slips, kind of. Some are just like friction slips. We can still continue, but Matteo was just slipping off a foothold, which kind of throws you down again. And you just have to start from zero with new momentum. So it just takes some time and costs some time.
All right, well, no go for him. We move on, as we do in speed. Yixiang Wang on the left of your screen, Amir on the right-hand side. I like Amir's routine. He always does that air climbing thing, which looks a bit like doggy paddle in the air, but it's the athletes that are figuring out the sequences.
Yeah, I tried it, but I'm like, for me personally, I'm like, well, I think I've climbed the route a few times. So but everybody has their own routine. I know my routine is quite special too.
Yes, do keep an eye out for these rituals that come in. Once you spot them, you can't unsee them. Okay, PBs are close. Left lane wins on paper. Here we go.
Ready?
What a start from Amir, powering off, but Wang now starting to reel him in. Can Wang find something in the top? It is, no! Oh, it is! I thought Yixiang Wang had made a mistake there.
It looked like it, but somehow he was just like able to pull through and win by a tiny margin, 200ths of a second. And it looked like the timing wasn't sure either, because it took a second to show the times.
Yes, it did. The clock struggled to keep up as well there, I think. Okay, so this was the race from the drone shots. Our drone on super sport mode here to get this done. Oh.
I mean, now the timing systems are really fast, but back in the days, we oftentimes had the issue that they were like with a small delay, like half a second, and you were like looking up, waiting, and then it turns green or red. It's like, oh, now I finally knew it. Because, as you said, some races are so close, you couldn't call it.
No, absolutely not. You couldn't put a stopwatch.
If we wouldn't have the time, we might not even be able to know who won that race, because it's just so close.
I'd be guessing. Right, Jean-Luc Zoda got through that first round. His opponent slipped a bit, but he's up against Eric Neuer, the legend, the beast. Let's see what he can do.
European duel, we don't see that too often in World Cup finals.
Yeah, good
Because
point, actually, yeah.
we have a lot of Europeans today in the finals, which is obviously, I mean, oftentimes we have a lot of Asians, but today we have also quite a few Europeans, which is also nice, because I always like it if it's like a little bit diversified.
Yeah, so here we go. Eric Neuer turns, faces the wall. He trains in Indonesia a lot. He follows that culture, that training regime, but he's up against this man here who's on a bit of a flyer right now. Can he pull it off again? No, he doesn't. An immediate slip. Eric Neuer will go through. He probably won't know his opponent has slipped. He finished things off.
I think he did know, because you saw it. He was going not full speed at the very top sections. He was like playing it a little bit safe there, but Gianluca unfortunately was so far off down and he lost the momentum. So yeah, 550 is enough for him to go through, but we saw 508 before from Eric, so let's see what he will do in the next race.
Yeah, Gianluca slipped on the Tomoa at the very beginning. Let's have a look.
See it again. Yeah, he just missed the very first foothold, and that just takes so much momentum off.
His head flick was so violent, it almost kind of threw him off the wall there. Well, unlucky for him.
And Eric has this moment in front of the crowd.
I tell you what, Eric's on track here at the moment for a potential final, so we'll see. All right, final race for the men. Sam Watson versus Pierre Rebrion will finish things off for this round. Sam runs on, talking about rituals. The wall kick, let's see. There it is, the wall kick.
Checking the wall, wall is good, okay. Didn't break.
Didn't fall down, we're okay. Okay, so Sam Watson looks
That's going to be a really interesting one. Because Sam super fast, Pierre also fast, and with the crowd support.
Yeah, let's see how much. So look at that smile from his face. I think he's just taking it all in. I mean, you've climbed in front of an Innsbruck crowd enough times. You know what that feels like.
You're just standing there like Pierre was smiling and like, oh, now I can finally climb again. It's just a good feeling.
Oh, let's see if he can pull some magic out here. Sam Watson will need to keep it together, though. 4.79 is his PB and world record.
Ready?
Big start from Sam Watson, who's a little ahead. Can Pierre find something? He slipped there. Sam is going to take this with a 4.839. The consistency.
This is close.
But the consistency close to a world record is ridiculous.
He had 8.8, now he had 8.3. But Pierre is also kind of happy. We see him. 5.27, also a good time for Pierre. But yeah, 4.83, that's tough to beat. I'm going to be honest.
It is going to be tough to beat. If Sam Watson can keep this going, wow, he wouldn't be betting against him.
I mean, at this stage, it's really like if Sam doesn't make a mistake, it's really, really hard to beat him.
Yeah, he is the favorite at the moment in the world.
And that's really also what we talked earlier a little bit. He's fast and he's consistent. Yeah. I'm just wondering what happens if Sam throws out one run, maybe not so consistent, but like super fast. Because he's always in that range, so consistent. So,
well, finals, maybe he'll unleash it. He's got one race to go, though. It's the attempt for final and small final coming up next. So we don't lose an athlete here, but they will lose a chance to get a gold medal if they don't make it.
Also, we have 4 nations here in the final heats. Japan, China, USA, and Spain.
So a nice spread of nationalities. We can see the moon in the background coming out here in Chamonix, illuminating the stadium, which is lit by lights, of course. And this is the women's results. There is the moon. That's our stadium, looking very dramatic. And that lead wall will be in action tomorrow from 10 a.m. Central European time if you want to see the boulder and lead as we wait for the presentation of the finalists. So, Luca, tell me about this moment. What is going on here?
It really depends, but I really enjoy it all the time. Every time when I get the pleasure to stand there, because it's like, you shouldn't take it for granted, in my opinion. But it's also nice because you have a small break still. And I think it's a nice appreciation to finally introduce the athletes again, because everything got so fast, you know. In lead and boulder, you can talk about the athletes. They have a lot of screen time, but here it's like up, down, that's it.
And the Chinese athletes a bit blinded by the lights there, I think, which are shining right in their faces, to be fair.
Yeah.
But the difference in focus between the nationalities is so fascinating.
Yeah. I always try to not look directly into the lights because oftentimes they're quite bright. And I'm like,
Well, look, there are the lights.
oh yeah, they seem kind of bright. But we need to see the athletes, so what are you going to do?
Exactly. Just close your eyes, I guess. Well, the men are introduced. Eric Neuer with his hands, as is Sam Watson with a smile. And I think Sam Watson, he said it before to me, that he sees himself as an ambassador for this sport. You know, he wants to spread the word of speed, and it's good to see that.
Yeah, that's true. Also, as an American citizen, he has quite a big international audience that he can speak to, you know. We often have small struggles with the athletes who don't speak English that well to get the message out. So it's nice that he's like trying to get the message out about our beautiful sport.
I would agree, and it is a beautiful sport, it really is. This is athleticism at its finest here, finely tuned athletes. Can you imagine running up a 15-meter wall in less than 5 seconds for the men, less than 7 seconds for the women, for the world
records? And I always
records.
love it if the athletes enjoy that. Because, I mean, in front of that crowd, how can you not enjoy it?
It's pure performance, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the men run back, bit of confusion, go off to the right, there we go. Now, that is the last time we'll see them relaxed, because from now on, it's business time. This is the race to see which athlete will make it to the small finals, where bronze medal and 4th place is on the line, and the finals, where silver and gold is to be battled out for.
And now it's also the final time where we see each of those athletes having 2 runs, at least, like because they're either advancing to big or small final. And it's the only time in the competition where we could see a false start without somebody being eliminated.
Yeah, so you might as well go for it at this stage. So let's see. MIDI in the background there. And we have one last look at our results. The athletes will be backstage, warming up, getting ready, pumping those muscles up, getting the legs warm.
And it's really going to be interesting what the athletes, like how their mindset is, because it's, for example, for Eric, he knows Sam. I think they sometimes train together. So like, what approach do you take? Do you just go like all in, trying to do a really fast start and trying to race as fast as you can? Or are you going to like, try to be as consistent as possible because maybe he makes some mistakes? It's a little bit those going on back in the minds of the people because you always know who you're racing and you kind of know the story or the performance of those people. Are they consistent? Are they fast? What are they doing?
Yes, these athletes travel together, they train together, they know each other intimately, as you said, and there's a lot of mind games going on here in the background.
But a beautiful thing about speed is it always seems like, well, on the stage, your opponents, you're battling, it's 1 against 1. So actually it's a really tough fight like you would have in a boxing match. But when they come down, it's like 90% always like everybody can talk with anybody. It's not that there is like a tense attitude, which I really like.
I do too. It's, you know, out on the wall, there are, as you said, competitors, but yeah, that spirit you see back on the deck is good. Okay, well, that curtain twitches. The women are out first. Deep breaths as we get ready to go. Natalia Kaluchka on the left from Poland. Jimin Jeong on the right from South Korea. Natalia Kaluchka stares upwards, adjusts the starting pad. Now, you've got to say, Natalia Kaluchka has been in this position so many times.
Yes.
She's probably the favorite to take this.
And she's also really consistent.
Yeah, but can Jimin Jeong pull something out here? Can the underdog come through? Here we go.
Ready?
Good start from both of them. Jimin Jeong is ahead at the moment. Then a slip from her puts up a fine and out of the running. Natalia Kaluchka, oh, she pauses. Hang on a sec. No, she does manage to save it. I was worried for a second there.
Me too. I mean, he was far in the front, but yeah, that's the thing that I was referring to a little bit earlier, because sometimes you see, I mean, Natalia, I think she knew that Jimin Jeong is quite far below, so she was like, well, okay, now I can slow down a little bit maybe, and then sometimes it happens.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
She had enough room to correct that one, because the time's like 7:90, that's not anything notable for her. I mean, she's always really fast.
It was a big slip. She almost fell from the wall there.
And that's the most scary thing, if you like make a slip and fall off. It doesn't happen often, but when it happens, I mean, in this situation, if she falls off, Jimin Chong still has to hit the buzzer, but like then she has time, obviously.
Nightmare feeling, heart in her mouth. Well, she pulled it through. Right, Xingun Wang comes on versus her teammate Shaquin Zhang. And teammates, what's it like racing a teammate? Is it easier or harder?
I had the pleasure today in the qualifications, and I would always say it's a pleasure because I like it. But obviously on this stage, it's like, it really depends, I guess, how close you are. Because China, is, for example, it's a big country, so I don't know how close they are as teammates. We in Austria, we're very close because we all train together. So we try to push ourselves when you race together.
All right, here we go then. Wang on the left, Zhang on the right. Athletes reach up.
Ready?
Big focus here. Well, it's clean. Zhang much faster off the starting blocks, but look at this from Wang. She's starting to reel her in. Can Zhang keep it? Yes, Shaquin Zhang moves forward to the finals.
And she goes through with a new PB, 300th of a second improvement of the official PB.
These PBs are just getting dropped all over the place tonight.
That was something that I found so astonishing with the OQS. In Shanghai and Budapest, we saw so many PBs.
Yeah, I guess like everyone's, the focus has obviously been on the Olympics.
Yeah.
And again, the level seems to step up every year, but this year, again, they've just found another.
But in this case, I think it's even more astonishing because the pressure is so much higher, And OQS was kind of, both comps were, I think, really clean. There were just a few athletes who missed out, but there were a lot of athletes with a lot of clean runs, PBs, and I thought that really nice. And also, like, this shows how good the mind game of some of the athletes on the circuit is.
Yeah, agreed. Mentally so strong as speed climbers. Imagine the pressure. You fly around the world, you full start, and you're gone. That's it. You know, it's hard to recreate that kind of pressure in any environment. Well, that's the confirmation. Natalia Kalushka versus Shaquin Zhang for the final, small final. Jimin Zhong versus Shaquin Wang for the women. So that will follow. We once more turn our attention back to the men for their rounds. Rio and Massa will be out first of all. And look at those times, so consistent. Everyone under the 7s who are moving forward. As we look at the men, there is Rio and Massa, who will face his opponent from China, Xingun Wang. The two will face each other then, Eric Neuer versus Sam Watson in the second race. Okay, that's what's ahead of us. Small final, big final, of course. Gold medal, silver medal, and bronze on the line in the 4th place. Such a sad position to get to after all this.
Yeah, 4th place always hurts a little bit because, yeah, you made it through, you made it so far, and it was just still not far enough. And with a beautiful night here in Chamonix, like basically no clouds, nice temperature. So the athletes are going to be really psyched to climb under good conditions, good crowd, and an amazing stage.
Yeah, it's all to play for now. Rio Amasa runs on first, hits the left-hand side of the stage running. Adjusts the pad, the athletes can do that, making sure it's in the perfect position for them. And then Xingun Wang on the right. Again, he makes his adjustments, slaps that first hold.
And you can see the first hold is not really red anymore. Oh. It's getting more chalked up as every climber comes.
Yeah, pure white now. Chalk used for grip. Of course, no chalking up mid-route like we see in lead. No time for that. So here we go. A 5.07 PB versus a 4.99.
Ready?
Good start from both. It's neck and neck down low. In the middle, though, Wang is slightly pulling ahead. And yes, and a 5.96.
Oh my God. And we have Rio Massa, the next male athlete, clocking in under 5 seconds.
Unreal. Another PB we see tumble.
But also the Chinese athlete improving his PB. So I think both of them can be really proud.
Unreal. There's such a quick wall here tonight.
For sure taking the Japanese record, I assume.
Yeah, it must be. Hey, I know our social media team are trying to keep up with all the records, and they've got their work cut out today.
Yeah, national records are always kind of tough to track.
Yeah, there's a few going down.
By now we have so many nations competing, also in speed. In the beginning, it was like a little bit more focused on a few big nations, but now a lot of nations are investing in building up their speed teams.
Yeah, exactly. That Olympic lure.
Yeah, obviously Paris being a big step towards that.
All right, here we go. Eric strides forward. Sam Watson runs onto the stage, does his kick. Eric would love to get a final here, but he's up against the favourite here in Sam Watson. Eric swinging back and forth. So Sam gets clipped in. Eric is ready to go on the left of your screen. 5.08, of course, against Sam's 4.79.
Eric on the left lane.
Eric on the left, yeah.
Coming through the faster heats.
Yeah, so technically in the favourite lane, but I think Sam Watson might have something to say about that. Let's see.
Ready?
Big start from both athletes. It's very close right now. Sam maybe slightly ahead as we near the top. Yes, Sam takes another 4.8.
But also Eric 5:01. Oh my gosh. He can't believe it. He's happy though. He's happy, yes. That's the Eric Neuer we want to see again. Like,
yeah, and he's going to be, bouncing back from that OQS.
Yes.
You know that.
I think this comp gives him so much because he's been able to improve so much on his PB. He's really in a happy state now, and you can see it. That's what I said earlier. There is no.
It's a very genuine moment, isn't it, out there? Okay, well, we know our finalists now. Let's see this race again. They were both so quick down low. Sam started to pull ahead through the middle sector, through that Chinese top. Let's see it here. Perfect from Sam. Sam seems to put on like kilograms of muscle as well since I've last seen him. He's getting bigger and bigger. Right, well, that's confirmation of the result. So Wang versus Sam Watson for the final. And then
but also small final will be so close. Like Rio with 4.97, Eric with 5:01 now in the last race.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very close one. That you're
I
right.
think both of them are going to be really psyched because Rio obviously having the psych from going sub-5, and Eric probably thinking, I mean, why not go sub-5 now because it's so close.
Yes. Yeah, you might
and
as
also
well.
we always have to say we have the official times here at the World Cup. Because if you go at the national comp or maybe European comp, you don't have the official wall sometimes. So those are the times that count the most, if you want to say so.
Well, here we go. Myself, Matt Groom, and Lucas Knapp will call all of the action in a couple of seconds as we wait for the final races of the evening. So to let you know the schedule for the next couple of days, tomorrow morning we have the semi-finals, the qualifying round taking place this morning. The athletes, 26 women, 26 men, getting through to that. So that will be 10 a.m. Central European time. We'll have a bit of a pause and a return in the evening for the finals. And if you've never watched the finals, it's well worth it. We're watching the semi-final replay right now. A couple of slips along the way. Natalia Kaluchka there powering her way up, but what a moment she had at the top. Had to save herself as she hit the starting pad. That was the slip, and it was a big one from her. Yeah, head in her hands. She knew how close that was.
Yeah. That's always like, when you make a mistake and you're just like, why did I do this? But if it's still enough, you're like, whew.
Well, stunning races, but we can forget about all that because it is final and small final time. So here we go. The small final will come first, the final second. Lucas, I mean, what a comp it's been so far.
Yeah, really, really amazing comp. Also, we see so many clean races, so many PBs. It's really amazing to watch.
And this was the men's run. This is the last race we saw before this pause. Sam Watson getting it done, green lights on. And yeah, look at them celebrating together in the air as they descended as well.
And it's always like, when you see a PB up there in red, it's like, because Eric is like 5:01 and it's still red.
Yeah.
Like, is this real? Well, it was Sam, so okay, yeah.
Look at this crowd. Hands in the air from everyone here. There's people bringing deck chairs. There's a few beers going round. It's a picnic-style atmosphere.
And this place is stacked. I think you couldn't get any more people here. It's like...
Yeah, it's they've closed all the streets around here.
Yeah. And that's what we want to see. That's what we want to see when our sport develops. Both speed, lead, bouldering, all of them. We want to see big audiences. They can see it. I mean,
That's got to be one of the biggest audiences I've ever seen for speed.
Yeah, I don't know where there would be more people than here.
No, it's
and now
unreal.
you can see the lights turning on. I mean, they're really creating a beautiful atmosphere.
And the athletes have just walked out into that atmosphere with the lights going. Gave me goosebumps, that. Right, small final first. Jimin Zhong on the left-hand side, Shakwin Wang on the right of your screen. Bronze medal on the line, and this is the toughest race because, at least for the final, guaranteed a medal. Here you're not.
It's kind of an all or nothing now. But it also doesn't mean you don't really got anything to lose. So it's like, worth putting a little bit risk in.
Agreed. Well, the lights are still shining in the audience. The athletes will try to ignore it for now, which is hard to do with this kind of an atmosphere going on. But now the audience will settle down. Here we go. Jimin Zhong on the left, Shakwin Wang on the right.
Ready?
Well, it's clean from both. At the moment, Jimin Zhong is ahead. Can Shakwin Wang find something in the top? No, she has a little slip. It's going to be Jimin Zhong. She does take it with the bronze medal.
And also, she's been really consistent. You see at PB before with 6.62, now 6.64. There you can see it in the elimination stages. Oftentimes, consistency is key.
Well deserved. She looks a little shell-shocked as she comes down there, trying to take it all in. Disappointment for Wang, of course, getting that fourth place. But still, fourth in Chamonix.
Yeah.
Pretty good. Oh, they'll congratulate each other. Handshakes there. And Jimin doesn't know which way to leave. Left, right. She leaves now. Let's see that race again. It was a slight slip from Wang there. You could see the foot pop.
She kind of lost it to somewhere in the middle and then wasn't able to gain it back. Because Korean athlete just was flawless.
Absolutely. Well, relief, I think, more than anything from her. Okay, men's small final now. Eric Neuer versus Rio Amasa. Can Eric Neuer get on a podium?
And
Can
that
Rio
should
Amasa
be
find it?
a really close race. I'm really hoping for 2 clean runs.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, I don't want to call it because you can't.
No, you can't. But the reason we're so excited by this is their times are close. They've both been running well. No real mistakes from either.
We're also going to look at the starting reactions now because that might be the tipping point if we see a close race. Who got the fastest start?
Okay, so they turn. Rio Amasa takes a deep breath. Eric Neuer stays calm on the right, head down. Now he looks up as he grabs the starting holds. Big moment here for the men. Well, good, we're clean. Eric Neuer, what a start from him. Rio Amasa needs to find something fast in the top section. Can he do it? No, Eric Neuer is going to take it. And what a time from him as well.
5:05. And there he has it. I mean, there was consistency, and there was consistency below his usual level. Like, he was so fast. That was the combination, basically, of having one fast run every now and then, but he had one fast run every time, basically.
Unreal there.
And he enjoys it.
He really does. A
But
medal
also,
for Eric.
Rio up to the very top was there. Yeah.
Yeah, he leaves the stage with a salute to the crowd. Let's watch this again from the drone shot, shall we?
Eric got in front in the early beginnings, and Rio was trying to catch up the very top. Yeah.
I tell you what, it wasn't perfect from Eric, so he found, you know, he had to make some adjustments as he went.
And with Rio, you saw he was trying to just throw his hand up there, just trying, maybe he can take it, but it was a little bit too slow, too low, sorry.
Okay, so time for the women out on the stage as we get ready for the race. So Natalia Kaluchka, can she take another medal? But she's up against Shakwin Zhang on the right from China. Zhang
She looks composed, but so does Chinese athlete, so it's like... And the crowd is ready.
The crowd is ready. This is for a gold medal, everyone. So, move your chairs closer to the TV screen. Don't look away for a second. This is going to be over quickly, and we are going to have our gold medalist after this run. Natalia Kaluchka on the left, Shakwin Zhang on the right. Here we go.
Ready?
Well, that's a big start from both. Natalia Kaluchka has a huge slip. But Shakwin Zhang needs to keep it together. Can she? Yes, she does.
Yes, she does. And really fast, because she's 200s off her PP. So she didn't slow down at all. She was just like having it going through.
Well, disappointment for Natalia Kaluch gets the second slip we've seen down low, and she just knows, look at her. She'll want to leave that stage as quickly as possible, I think.
She does.
Well, victory.
But up to now, she had a really good competition. You shouldn't put that lightly because she was really consistent. But every now and then, also the most consistent people just have that one moment where it's like, ah.
Well, let's see it again. Yeah, where was the slip? Oh,
yeah,
wow.
She's just missing the foothold on the Tomora.
Yeah.
This was clean. And
oh, the left, yeah. She was slightly too far to the left with that left foot. Now Zhang had a victory lap towards the top as we finish off the women's competition. Just one race to go now before we have the podiums and interviews that Lucas is going to go and do in a minute with the winners. And then Natalia Kaluch, heartbreak for her, but Zhang now with a smile. She was so focused throughout that run. All right, here we go. Final time for the men. Sam Watson runs on. Xuan Wang on the left-hand side. So it could be close.
And also for the women, the Chinese athlete never had a World Cup podium so far, and now she's going home with a gold medal. Oh, can you imagine that?
Yeah, that medal.
She had a 4th place in Chamonix last year, so that was kind of her revenge for the not so nice 4th place, as we just said. It's like, but now all eyes on the man.
Yeah, redemption for the women, but Sam Watson there looks out of the crowd. He's in the lights. Wang on the left. Can Wang do something here to stop Sam Watson? He's been so consistent in the 4.8s. Let's see now.
Ready?
Well, it's a good start. Sam Watson is ahead, and Sam Watson now just needs to keep things together. Oh, no, he slips there. Can he do it? Yes, he can. Oh. Sam
he
Watson
was slowing down. You saw it, but then there was a small hesitation, if you want to say so, but it was enough.
It was enough indeed. Sam Watson, it wasn't perfect. It doesn't matter. He takes the gold medal.
We don't see a new world record, but we've seen so many close times.
So close. Well, Sam Watson, and this might be his last comp before Paris. And if it is, well, what a way to give yourself a confidence boost, eh?
Yes.
And they raise their hands towards the audience. They'll share this moment together, 2 medalists. Okay, well, podium time in a minute, and interviews to come, of course. Lucas Knapp will be going backstage to check out the winners. So, Lucas, thank you for joining me here today.
It was a pleasure, Matt.
It's always great to see you. Welcome back anytime, and good luck for the rest of the season. Hope
Thank
it goes
you,
well.
thank you. Might be back for Briasol, but my goal is to go to the finals, so.
Hope so, mate. I hope so. Have a wonderful time,
there.
and I'll see you
soon. It was
soon.
good to talk to you.
So there we go, confirmation of the results here as darkness descends on the Chamonix Stadium. Pretty cold now in the arena. And we can see the results there. Natalia Kaluch, yeah, that fall costing her dear. So Zhang taking the victory there for China, 6.60 for her. A brilliant race from all. And of course, as we build up towards Paris and the Olympic Games, all eyes are going to be on the speed athletes for that. And Sam Watson takes that victory at 6.24. His opponent slipping, and Sam Watson really the king of consistency here in the Chamonix night. Didn't get his world record again. He's had it a few times here already. An awesome performance from him. So just a reminder of the next couple of days of comps. Lead tomorrow, semi-finals. 26 athletes will get whittled down so we can find our finalists. And the finals will be taking place in the evening. A spectacular event, although it's hard to know how they're going to beat the atmosphere that we found tonight. The audience on top form, getting behind with lights shining in the night sky here in Chamonix. The speed doesn't stop here. We continue on to Briançon next. So thank you so much for joining me. my co-commentator Lucas Knapp in the commentary box with his expert opinion. And tomorrow we'll have more guests, so please join us for that. And we will see you tomorrow. So our interviews are ready. Let's go down and find Lucas with our winners, shall we?
First and foremost, I want to congratulate you on your victory. Last year in Chamonix, you had the 4th place. This year, you had the victory in Chamonix, your first World Cup podium. How do you feel?
First of all, I'm so happy. I break my personal best. I'm so happy. Second, I like this place. This is my like place.
How does it feel to climb in front of such a huge crowd? There were so many people here, so many people, and I think the audience is really nice. It's a nice setting. How do you feel when there are 10,000 people watching you?
I join this place. Do myself better.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Well, there is our speed wall. On the top of it anyway, the Chamonix Mont Blanc logo on the lead wall on the right. And we're waiting for Sam Watson. In fact, we found Sam Watson, so let's go down to the interview with Sam, shall we?
Sorry. Okay. Hey Sam, first of all, congrats to your World Cup victory today. We saw you very consistent throughout the comp, always hitting like close times to the world record, obviously your PB. How do you feel now?
I feel great. As the Chamonix curse for 2 years, I didn't do well the last 2 comps, worst comp of the year, and then to come back 1 comp before the Olympics and sort of as a, not a practice event, but a real return, and to do this well and to get a win, my 3rd win of a World Cup at this stage in front of all these people that came out in Chamonix was just one of the best moments you can experience as a climber. I think almost every climber would say they would want to win in front of Chamonix, if not maybe some other venues, but Chamonix is my favorite for sure.
So let's talk about this a little bit, because in Chamonix, I think the atmosphere is just a little bit different than at other locations we see. How do you feel when you walk out on that stage and look in that audience of thousands of people who are cheering for you, wishing the best to all climbers, and just, can you enjoy that?
Yeah, so Chamonix is almost the birthplace of the spirit of Psych for climbing, and to have this many people, I don't know, 10,000, all these people out here at this beautiful venue in front of Mont Blanc, like such a historic place for climbing and competition with the Winter Olympics 100 years ago, like it's such an insane, like storied venue that I really want to be a part of.
So you just mentioned it, I guess this will be your last comp before Paris. How do you feel finishing this comp with such a strong consistency, basically every run clocking in close to your PB, just with the exception of the final run? How does that make you feel in preparation for Paris?
Yeah, obviously the last one I was just trying to push for world record. I had one react. I was like really going for 4.6, pushing down towards my practice PB, but I guess I'm gonna have to wait about a little bit, 2 weeks or so before Paris, and then I can really throw that down. But yeah, consistency, I've really been working on it. I had a very boring 2 months, but not boring, that's the wrong word, but very tedious training cycle where I just worked hard so every day, and I was looking forward to this trip so much, and to pull off the 3 wins, which is what it'll take to win the Olympics, in a row with consistent 4.8s near the world record is a dream for sure, and it shows I'm in the right place.
Well, thanks so much for the interview, and congratulations again on your victory today.
Thank you. You got the right hand.
Well, there we go. Wise words from Sam Watson. We'll wait now for the podiums to take place. They'll be set up on the stage, and a lot of our audience staying, which is great to see, supporting the athletes who have been working hard, of course, through all their training. So that's the results, and we'll be back in a couple of seconds for the podium.
Eh bien, mesdames, mesdemoiselles, messieurs, on va pas tarder à passer à la cérémonie de récompense. Ça va évidemment faire les plus belles photos de la soirée. Donc, voyons encore toutes les félicitations. Et juste après, ce sera pour des cadeaux. Je vais faire le décoller ce soir avant d'aller rejoindre les collègues du côté de la zone VIP.
So it's almost time for podiums here. The dignitaries are filing onto the stage, and do remember to subscribe to the IFSC YouTube channel if you haven't already. The World Climbing Club is a daily show we're bringing out with not only highlights from these events, but interviews, and we're delving into speed in the latest one, talking to one of the most prominent coaches in the business, Mr. Albert. That will be coming out soon. It's a good way to get your climbing fix. And there are our athletes on the stage in front of the Chamonix crowd who have stayed around to watch this, which is great to see. The athletes calm and composed as they were on the wall. A few smiles there. But what a performance from them. Jimmy Jong takes that bronze medal, third place for her. Marcus Scalaris, the IFSC president, who will be joining me on the live stream tomorrow for a bit of a chat during the semi-finals about the past, present and future of our sport. Checks and a rather nice photo book given out. Silver medalist Natalia Kaluchka had a slip down low. Wasn't her final night, but good performance throughout the competition from her, and another medal to her name. Natalia Kaluchka with that silver medal. And finally, she had a great run. She beat that lady there, Shakwin Zhang, on the top spot of the podium, the gold medal. And she waits for her moment in the spotlight. And a big smile on her face. And there she is, called to the top spot, big wave to the crowd as she stands up high. Her first gold medal, her first podium, fourth last year, gold here today. What an improvement from her, and what a victory tonight. And she's been pretty composed, but now the smile spreads across her face. And you can see one of the pictures from the 1920 Olympics there, the Winter Olympics that took place here. Chamonix with quite a pedigree of sporting prowess under its belt. There are your podium finishes here tonight. Just the anthems to come before we will say goodbye to the women and introduce the men to the stage. And this beautiful evening. Applause around. The women once more will gather at the top for the photographers. Take their moment in the spotlight. And we'll turn our attention to the men. Look at that smile from Natalia Kaluchka. So those are 3 podium finishes here tonight. It's been a packed day for the speed athletes. The qualifying got moved from yesterday, where the rain was, well, pretty cataclysmic yesterday. Luckily, not today. We've had a beautiful day for climbing. Good conditions all around, not too hot. We'll see what tomorrow brings. Time for the men then, as the stage is cleared. Women returning to the isolation zone, the warm-up area behind that lead wall and speed wall. There is a gym actually that's used for the warm-up purposes, the ENSA gym, just around the corner. That's where the athletes will gather and warm up properly, but the warm-up wall at the back, just the last chance to get their body ready to compete. See the lead wall in the background. It's been stripped of roots at the moment and we put up overnight, not to give anything away to the people who might be watching the competition. The setter's working hard, of course, to make sure the roots not only are on the wall, but they work correctly. Lots of testing going on, as well as coming up with the concepts. All that will come tomorrow, of course. Less of a hectic schedule tomorrow. It's been a busy one today with the lead qualifiers, speed qualifiers, and of course the speed finals. Tomorrow just the semi-finals and finals to go before we say goodbye to Chamonix for another year. And right, the 22nd time the World Cup has come to Chamonix. So here we go, our spotlight grows on the blue banners. The athletes will be waiting behind that, ready to come onto the stage. And here we go, time for the men's podium. Eric Neuer leading the way with a smile on his face. Sam Watson in the middle with that gold medal. Xiang Wang on the left of your screen there. There was a close race between them. Sam Watson eventually took it via a slip. I think he might have been in the lead at that point anyway. Sam said at the interview, what a final competition before Paris. Just a little reminder to yourself that you are up there with the world's best. Eric Neuer hypes the crowd. Awesome from him. A bronze medal for Eric Neuer, well deserved. Raises his trophy book up high. And silver medalist, he did have a slip. Fought hard throughout the competition. Xiang Wang, a silver medal from him. And again, a big reaction from the crowd, who really are so supportive of the athletes. They know what they've been through just to get to this stage, let alone get the medals that they have tonight. And finally, Sam Watson. He must start getting used to medals soon, and that top spot of the podium. He's got more to give. He always thinks he can break world records, go faster and faster. And Sam Watson with a smile on his face as he glances right. Sam Watson takes victory here. The gold medal will be hung around his neck. Another one for the collection. And with his eye on Paris, certainly in the conversation for a possible win there, hey? Last anthems will now play before we'll say goodbye to you here this evening. And you can get some rest before returning, of course, for the speed, for the lead tomorrow.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of the USA. Mesdames et messieurs, veuillez vous lever si vous avez la possibilité pour accueillir l'hymne national des États-Unis d'Amérique.
Well, as Sam Watson sings the words of the national anthem, that signals the end of the speed competition here in Chamonix. Plenty of action to come tomorrow, of course. But for now, we will say goodnight to you here. Bit of an iconic photo, that one. All three biting the medals, just to make sure, eh? Well, they will leave the stage and we will return tomorrow, 10 AM Central European time for the lead semi-finals. My name is Matt Groom. Thank you for Lucas Knapp for joining me in the commentary box, and we will return for more IFSC action very soon. Good night, everyone.